content. It's a beautiful day to be a viewer. Would you be mine? Could you subscribe? I've always wanted a subscriber just like you. I've always wanted to create content just for you. So let's make the most of this rainy day. And since you clicked on this video, you might as well stay. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my subscriber? Won't you please? Could you please? Won't you please be my subscriber? Hello viewers, how are you guys doing? I hope that you guys are doing fantastic. I know it's been a long time. I'm actually taking a break from my break on YouTube, and I am using my cell phone, which I promised myself I wouldn't do. Did that rhyme? Did I? This whole video will not be on my phone. I will be using my Kodak Pix Pro, so the quality is probably not going to be the best. I still have yet to get a new camera or a new phone, so this is what I'm working with for now. I couldn't pass up this opportunity to share our upcoming birthday party. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I actually debated with myself if I really wanted to create this video or if I just wanted to truly and genuinely give myself a break off YouTube. Honestly, I wanted to create these videos because, you know, I love looking back on these videos. We have so many parties that we have hosted, and now when I get to look back, it's so fun to watch those videos. And you know, a lot of people really seem to like them. So since I'm throwing this party, I figured you guys might want to come along. So I did create an 80s themed birthday for our birthday, me and my 3 friends. Our birthdays all landed in April, so I threw ourselves an 80s birthday. Now we're throwing a 70s birthday for Crystal's husband, Ramon. It's his 50th birthday, so it's going to be really big and elaborate. This time, this is mainly Crystal's, like, she's the mastermind of this whole thing. So, I'm just here for moral support. I'm here to help her, and I want to document it so we could look back on these videos, and I thought maybe you guys might want to come along with us. It's going to be so much fun. So right now what we're doing is we're working on some DIYs. The 70s is very, very, very difficult to create because there's not a whole lot out there. You really have to put a lot of imagination in. You have to put a lot of effort into research and stuff like that because decor is not readily available. I already got started on one DIY. Actually, me and Crystal both did. We got started on one DIY, and these are going to be the 50th birthday party boxes, and I will get to showing you what I mean right now. Oh, I really hope this is good lighting, guys. I'm going to try and stay in picture. I can't see what I'm doing here, so hopefully this is good. So these are boxes that I made for my 80th birthday last year in April. And I made them using foam board. If you want to see exactly how I made these, I suggest you click on this video and you can see exactly how I made it. And they were originally Rubik's Cubes. And I want to mention too that we've used these boxes for the last 4 parties. So these are definitely something that comes in handy. We took off all of the brown paper that we used from the last party. You can still see. You can still see the Mario squares underneath. And this one still has the liquor bottles from New Year's Eve. So if you want to go and watch all of my parties, you will see how I transform these boxes, sorry, I'm out of breath, into something new. So this time what we did is we just took off all of the brown packaging and we used some black poster board and we recovered them. Unfortunately, this one is a little bit bigger because I did create a new one. These are all 8-inch boxes, but this one's just a tad bit bigger. But they're not going to sit like this. They're actually going to be stacked upright, and they're going to be kind of like catty-cornered. So we are doing the sides too. I haven't done them all yet, but this one has a happy birthday on it for right now. I think that's all I've gotten done so far, and we recreated the letters using the Cricut, and this is just vinyl paper from the Dollar Tree. So just as as a reminder, one box just for the base of the box is going to cost you $1.25 because all you're going to need is just one styrofoam board, and you're just going to need some tape and some hot glue to make these boxes. anything that you use to wrap up your boxes with, it just depends on what materials you're using, but usually I only use things from the Dollar Tree, so it is an affordable piece. I know the quality here is really not that great, but I promise you it does get better later on, okay? So stick with me. But I do want to say that the Dollar Tree vinyl paper is compatible with the Cricut and it works really, really well, but it is much more delicate and it's prone to tearing. So you do have to use extra care with the Crafter Square version of the vinyl paper. However, I do want to stress that if you are new to using Cricut, make sure that you leave the sticker paper backing on, whether you're using the Dollar Tree version or the real Cricut version. Otherwise, the vinyl paper will stick literally like glue to your Cricut mat and it'll be almost impossible to remove. And I learned this the hard way, but if you do end up having scraps left over onto your mat after you scrape it all off, I suggest using a pet hair roller to clean your mat and it should be good as new. And this is also a good way to clean your mat in general. And after about 30 uses, you're going to have to replace your mat anyway. So just keep all of this in mind. But I really do appreciate that the Dollar Tree does offer the vinyl paper and they also offer the transfer tape as well. They are in smaller rolls, but they work wonderfully and yeah, it's so much more affordable than buying the real thing. Wow, I wish I would have gotten that on video because that was so satisfying. It came off an all-in-one piece. I'm going to try it because I'm going to have a second one. So I'll see if it works again on the second turn, but doesn't that look so cool? Okay, I don't know if my blade is getting messed up already. It is a brand new blade, so I'm not sure like what's going on here. But I did have to do it on less pressure because it was cutting through to the mat, so the bottom part was sticking to the mat, and when I was pulling it, some of the letters were sticking down. So I used less, but let's see what happens when I try to take this off, if it's as satisfying. Oh my gosh, it's hard to do this one-handed. Well, not as satisfying because at least last time it took off all of the insides of the letters, but I mean, it still looks pretty cool even though it got messed up. Not as satisfying peeling it off this, but nonetheless, it still looks cool. I'm going to try and get that off. Whew! Oh, that's awesome. Only this little piece right here got messed up, but maybe I can cover it with a little bit of marker. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Let's disco! Let's disco! Got one more to do on this other side. Music loud and now the groove is right. Changing up, never uptight. Gonna boogie all the way. Who's that lonely guy? Get him on the dance floor. Teach him how to dance. Teach him how to dance. Teach him how to kiss them blues goodbye. My, now he's a superstar. This took me all day yesterday. My camera actually died before I even had a chance to finish it. So hopefully the montage was enough for you guys. But I just absolutely love it. When I texted Crystal last night, I'm like, you are not ready for this. And she's like, tell me what's going on. Let's just see if the box is live in action, in real life. Make sure they're real. And I made sure that the hands were opposite, you know? Yeah. That was a last minute decision. I had like this over here. I had extra scrap pieces, so I just made those.
Look at at that.
And I try to make sure that Bubba's name got on it. I know that it's not even. I know, but I mean,
I'm not even looking.
it's really hard to get everything perfect, you know?
No.
Especially when you're doing it freehand and, you know, by hand. They look cool though, huh?
Yeah.
This was a last minute decision too. I was like, I don't want just the ball. I want it to say disco on it to tie them together, you know? Because it's part of the disco. Okay, so for this project, the main things that you're gonna need is 3 of the foam boards that you get from Dollar Tree. These ones we use white, and then any various of colors of poster board that you want on your bug. It's a preference really. You can find them at Dollar Tree, but they do sell these at Walmart also, and you can get a pack of like 5 or 6 for a pretty good price. You're also going to need some cutouts. Now these are not the ones that we actually used, but we had cutouts kind of similar to these, especially one like this. And we also used pieces of popsicle sticks, which is optional. I don't think it's completely necessary, but it is something that you might be interested in using if you want your bug to be a little bit more secure by attaching them to your foam boards. And then I used these balloon straws and I taped them together, and I used that as sort of like a ruler as a guideline to make the V in the bug. So this is mainly what you're going to need, but obviously you're going to need pencils, rulers, hot glue, tape, you know, the usual suspects. And be prepared to spend a lot of time because this is a very long project. And just to put into perspective, we had 2 people working on this, and it took us about 8.5 hours in total to complete. And once you get started, you're not going to want to stop because it makes a huge mess and you're not going to want to clean up and then have to make another big mess. So just make sure that you have time and you're prepared to be working on this all day long. Yeah, do it right in the center. I know you didn't just start on your own. I'm just like halfway. I know you could see the popsicle sticks through, but we're gonna cover it, so don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Probably best to do it laying down. At this point, what we did was we secured 3 pieces of foam board together lengthwise so that we can outline the bug itself. And whatever we did on one side, we did to the other. So especially like when we created the wheels at the bottom, we cut out the wheel and then flipped it over and did the same thing to the other side. And now we have the outline of our bug. And we basically used the seam of each foam board as a guide to where we wanted everything to be placed. I think there's bubbles right there. That's why it went in slanted a little bit. There's some bubbles in there.
Yeah, it was doing it to the side when I was cutting the tire.
There's some tough cookies in it.
Ta-da!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. Beep, 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 beep.
Shelly's taking off.
So instead of coloring this bug or painting it, because 1, it would take way too long, and 2, it wouldn't give a smooth finish, and 3, it's just faster this way to use poster board. So we had a bunch of colors to choose from, and so I gave her a visual of a few options to choose from, and we tried to match the colors of our cutouts as well, just so that it looked cohesive. And don't forget, there's going to be a little bit of splash of purple in there, in those little areas. And then we got marker, and we got these to put over it. So your opinion on which look you liked better as far as colors go?
I like this one.
You like this one? Now that we figured out what our color scheme is going to be, it's time to decorate our bug. This part is probably the hardest part because it's difficult to match the pieces exactly, but all it takes is a little bit of patience because this is probably just the most tedious and time-consuming part of this project. But just remember that if you make any oopsies, it can be fixed or it can be covered. To help us out, what we did was we taped the pieces together on the back side and then flipped it over and then hot glued it down. So we essentially glued down the entire bug in one piece, if that makes any sense. And then we added on our windows and any accent pieces that was going to add some decorations to this bug. At this point, my camera decided to stop filming and I didn't notice until way later. But all we did next was we added all of the accent pieces, including the headlights, the peace sign, the license plate, and then also the rear view mirrors, which was just made using foam board and flower cutouts. And then we attached them with popsicle sticks and hot glue. And then to finish it off, I outlined the entire bug with black marker. It's been a couple of days and we haven't even finished more than 2 of these DIYs. And it is raining cats and dogs outside, but I am showing you what we worked on. This is the Vivian or the bug, whatever you want to call it, the backdrop or a prop for photos. I'm super excited how it came out. We absolutely love it. I think it's so cute. And so now I'm going to be working on some candy boxes. Okay, so this is just some things that I'm going to be using for this project. There might be more things along the way, I'm not sure, but like the major thing is you're going to want a bunch of candy and you want them to be relatively the same size. Usually I make them into like squares, but this time I'm going to do triangles just to make it a little bit different. I got these from Party City. These are just centerpieces that have disco balls on them. Party City didn't have hardly anything 70s related, so I was even surprised that we had those, or that they had those on the shelf. But honestly, these could also be 80s related, so it can go either way. I found these from the Dollar Tree. They're happy birthday balloons. I got 2 different ones. I also have some of this tissue paper that I got from the Dollar Tree, some ribbon that's pre-curled from the Dollar Tree, my favorite way to buy ribbon. You're going to want some floral foam. I was hoping that those foam cones would work better, but they were a little bit too long and a little bit too wide at the bottom, so I opted to use the square pieces instead. So I cut them into triangles and then I stacked them together with some hot glue. To hide the foam, I just wrapped them in a single piece of tissue paper. You could use 2 different colors if you want to add a little bit more color to them, but I thought it looked good just the way it is, so I left it as is. But you're not going to want to put too many pieces of this tissue paper on here, otherwise it'll get too bulky. And then I just hot glued all of my candy boxes to the sides. I want to say that I've made these in the past and I liked them better the way that I did them before, but I just wanted to try something new by putting them into triangles. And I got my inspiration actually from walking around Party City. They actually have stuff like this on the shelves, but they're super expensive. So it's much better to just do it yourself. But I want to stress that you do want your candy boxes to be relatively the same size. That's going to make this project so much easier. And you can also get your candy boxes from the Dollar Tree, but I think that if you get them from Walmart, they might be just a little bit cheaper. And so that's pretty much it. It's such an easy project. You're just going to wrap them around with some of that curled ribbon and they look perfect. And as simple as these decorations are, believe me when I say that they were a big hit, because not only did they rip open these candies at the end of the night, but they also took a lot of this stuff home. So I would say that this is an easy and cheap way of making some party favors for all of your guests. went on Amazon and I found this vinyl record that was $12.99 plus $4.99 in shipping, and you're able to customize it with a picture in the inner circle, and then you're able to record a song onto it. So we chose Dancing Queen, and the reason why we chose that is because he has this picture of himself wearing this suit, and he danced to Dancing Queen in that costume. So we thought it was really fitting. So I put that order in, and unfortunately they couldn't continue on with the order, and they forced me to cancel it because they said that due to the material, it's on back order or something like that, and that it wouldn't be shipped on time. So I had to cancel the order, and I'm really bummed out about it, but I have to move on. So what I decided to do instead was I ordered 2 vinyl records because the only thing I could find was a pack of 2. I couldn't find a single record. I found a pack of 2 for $18.99. It is a little bit more pricier, but at least I got free Prime shipping on that one. I can't put a song on it, but I could still put his picture on it. So I did that. One of the things that it said on the description was that if you had a picture that was close up, they're not going to be able to get a perfect circle around it, that it was going to distort the picture. So it had to be like far away, but I decided to try it anyway. And yeah, so they couldn't complete the order. I wonder if that has something to do with it. I'm not sure, but I was able to do it on Word. So if I was able to do it on Word, I'm pretty sure they would have been able to do it as well. This part was actually so simple. I can't even understand why Amazon would have an issue with this. All I did was measure the inner circle to roughly about 4 inches. That's how big I wanted the picture to be. So I uploaded my picture into Word or into my computer, and then copied and pasted it into Word, and then changed the layout to a circle shape or an oval shape, and then I just sized it to a circle so that it looked as close to a circle as possible. And then I went in and resized it to about 4 inches all around. And to me, it looks like a perfect circle. The picture looks like it's placed nicely. It doesn't look distorted. It looks great. And now, so that I'm able to fit 2 pictures onto one page, I changed the orientation to landscape. Otherwise, if you were to do it the other way, it wouldn't fit 2 on one page, and I want to waste as least amount of materials as possible. So then I just printed it onto some sticker paper, which I get mine usually from Amazon, but you can find it at Walmart too for a little bit extra price. And then I just cut it out and applied it to my record on each side. The only thing I didn't do was put a hole in it, but the one on Amazon didn't have a hole in it either. Like I said, I can't put a song on here, but I can create an album cover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a black poster board and a white poster board. These are just scraps that I have left over from previous projects. I'm going to cut it into a 12 1/4 square, one white, one black. And then I'm going to try and recreate an album cover, kind of like the ABBA Dancing Queen 70s cover. I think it's going to look super cute. So I'm going to use a combination of Word, and I'm going to use my Cricut to create the lettering. And then on the back, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that I am going to be able to create like a guest list on the back side. Because the whole point of this record was that all of our guests that are coming are going to be able to sign the record, write whatever they want to say on it, and then I'm going to put it in the jacket. And then on the back side of the jacket, I want everyone to write down their names that attended the party. This project literally couldn't be any easier than it sounds. It really doesn't even need a tutorial or footage to prove it, but I know how satisfying it is to watch someone else make something. So this is how I did it. Basically, I just sized my picture on Word to an 8 by 8 inch square, and I put it on sticker paper, and then I sized my poster board, the black and white side, which is the front and back, to 12 1/4. But I will say that I did do a tiny bit too small. So this is a 12-inch record, so you probably want to go as big as 12.5 inches, just so that it fits comfortably in there. I was able to get the record in there at the end, but it is a tad bit tight. So just as a forewarning, maybe do a 12 1/3 or a 12.5 inch square on each side. And then I just eyeballed it, but you could measure it. But I was being impatient, so I didn't get it as centered as I would have liked to. So I just kind of eyeballed it and tried to put it in the center, which it was a little off, but no one complained about it, it still looked great. Also, the Dancing Queen letters on the bottom did not fit perfectly, but like I said, no one really cared. It's more of a momentum or a memento. How do you say that word?
it's really just for memories for him to keep. And it went perfect with the picture that Crystal gave me. And he loved this idea. Now, I know that I could have kept searching around on Amazon. I did find several other companies that made records like this where I could get one that actually had the song on it, but it was a lot more expensive. I just was willing to settle for the $12.99 plus the $4.99 shipping. I wasn't really able to spend any more than that, and so I think that in total this probably costed me only about $20 with all of the materials and supplies. The only thing I could not get is just the song that's on it, but I mean, you could always listen to the song on your phone or something, you know. Basically, that record that I found, you basically just point your phone towards it and it plays the song from your phone anyway. It's not like you could actually play it on a real record. So there's that. And plus, when you're on a budget, you have to do these kind of things as budget friendly as possible, especially when you're doing so many other projects all at once. You kind of want to keep it budget friendly. So that's why I opted to make it myself. And I'm kind of glad that I did because it came out really nice. The guests really loved it and it was a big hit, and it's something he can keep forever. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I looked everywhere for a custom made album cover. Unless you want to pay for an original, you are not going to find one like this already made for you. So making it myself was that much more rewarding.
Okay, so I want to share another little fun DIY or small project, something easy for you guys. I know that we don't really do like literal invites anymore or mail out invites anymore, but she really wanted to have something that people could physically receive in the mail. Since it is a 70s party, we wanted to keep it as vintage as possible. So we were looking around on Amazon, we were looking around on Etsy, and we just couldn't find an invite that we really wanted. And although Etsy has digital files, we weren't able to purchase any of them, only because I don't have the proper programming to edit those files. So I decided to just try to hand make them myself. I usually don't send out invites. Usually we use Facebook only. So what I did was I used my Movavi program, which is the same editing program that I use to edit all of my videos. I uploaded a picture into Movavi, and then I used the text to put words over the picture, and this is the actual invite part of it. I'm covering the bottom part because I don't want you guys to see our address and our phone number on there. So that's what I use that for, and then I just put it onto a Word document. So I copied it and put it into a Word document, and then I also went on Google and I found the picture 70s party on there, and I tried to size it as best as I could so that it would match both sides. So I have the front and I have the back. And then I just printed it out and I cut it to size and I pasted it together. And what I did was I took it to Staples to see if they can recreate this invite, but make it so that it was front and back. It is coming apart because all I used was paste, and I just figured it'd be a lot easier to go to Staples and have them printed, whereas using all of my ink, and I thought maybe it'd just be cheaper that way. Otherwise we would have had to buy cardstock, we would have had to buy more ink, and I just figured it would be cheaper. So for 15 invites, it came out to like $16, and we asked them to give us like a test to just make sure that we were gonna like it, because she wanted a digital file, but all I had was this handmade little invite. And so she did it, and it looked really good. It was a little like faded on the front, and the back was a little bit blurry, but it was still like really good. And we're like, oh, well, it looks vintage, you know, it'll still go with the theme. It looked really cool. We'll just figure it out. Well, when we went to go pick it up, it was completely like cut off. So it looked like it said 70s Darty on it. It just, I mean, she did make it look a little bit darker. She did make it look a little bit more vibrant and whatever, but she cut off the word. And I'm like, this isn't the way that it looked like when we saw the tester page. And I know it was a whole different person, but we were running out of time. We really needed to get these invites out, so we couldn't like go all the way back out to Staples to have them redone. Excuse the noise in the background. So I told her, you know what? I have a lady in town at the UPS store. She does stuff like this. She does it for me all the time. So I referred her to her so that she can get these invites printed and get them mailed out, and she could go back to Staples and have the invites returned, and she can get a refund. She went over to UPS, and we waited for several hours, and she was getting kind of like worried that she wasn't going to get these invites. But she pulled through and she created the invites, and they looked absolutely perfect. It was a little bit more expensive. It went from $16 at Staples to $28 at the UPS store, but they came pre-cut, so she didn't have to cut them. The ones from Staples, we would have had to cut them ourselves. So yeah, they look perfect, and they're on glossy paper, so it has like a little shine to them, and they're double-sided just the way I wanted. They're not too thick. We went to Walmart and we picked up colored envelopes that were the same size as these. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you if you still are interested in sending out physical invites. I think that is fun to do. But just so you know, if you don't have a Staples nearby and you have a UPS, try hitting up your UPS store and see if they can do them for you. Okay, so now it's Wednesday, and that record was a lot harder than I expected. Getting my Cricut to actually work with me was a big problem. I had to redo the Dancing Queen part of it like 6 different times because for whatever reason the blade just wasn't cutting correctly, and I couldn't get the wording off no matter what I did. So it did take me almost all day to complete that record, which it shouldn't have, but it did. So this next couple of projects that I have, they are simple, but they're probably going to take some time, and I'm really hoping that they're going to come out the way I envision it. So the first one, which is probably the next one I'm going to work on, is some 70s style speakers. And I'm talking about like those big disco party, you know, like speakers that they use for like DJs and stuff. I want to recreate something like that. It's not going to look exactly like a real speaker, but they're just props, you know. The second one is I'm going to try and recreate a disco sign to go in my hallway, because we are going to be decorating the inside of my hallway, the entire thing, like we always do when we throw big elaborate parties. So yeah, I'm hoping to get those both done today. If not, I'll probably work on one today and one tomorrow. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and see what we can do with both of these props. Okay, so I made the first one, and you guys, at first glance, it looks like amazing, right? I mean, for a prop, it doesn't look like a real speaker. I know that. But I mean, like, it looks like it's perfectly constructed, but it's not. It's so imperfect, but you can't tell, and it's going to be in the dark, so it's really not going to bother me. But I think that the second time around, it's going to be better. I like that the whole thing is running in one direction, so it looks like it's natural wood. Now let's get into what you need to make this project. You're going to need 3 black foam boards. You can use white if you want to, but I really highly suggest that you use black, especially if you want the cover to be black. You want 2 rolls of this wooden type of contact paper, and I got all of this from the Dollar Tree. And then as far as tools go, you're going to want a crap ton of hot glue, a hot glue gun. I suggest using one of these mats from the Dollar Tree. It keeps the glue from dripping all over your floors. You probably should get a big mat if you don't trust yourself cutting through to your carpet, if you're working on carpet or anything else. I also have a smaller mat that I'm going to use later on. I have 2 different types of X-Acto knives, a black marker, a Posca white marker, and protractor, whatever this is called. You can get it at the Dollar Tree. A Cricut roller, a pair of scissors. I use 2 rulers, some clear Scotch tape, and some black tape.
And when you can, you're going to have something known as steatorrhea. If you don't know what steatorrhea is, the kindest way that I can put it is fat in your poop. Do you want fat in your poop? I think not. Things around. Obviously, it's not a miracle cure-all, but it does feel really good to massage your sinuses. And then there's also potentially some venous insufficiency, which also can be called stasis differential, things that would be on the differential diagnosis. And say hello. So Chris.
The inner machinations of my...
So always stay happy and... Study mosquitoes, mosquitoologists, can you go into the comment section and tell us what mosquitoes are terrible.
Okay, so these are your front and your back walls. You're going to use the one with the tape for the back part. This is your front, this is your speaker part. These are your two side walls. And these are 12 inches wide. You don't need to measure the length because it's just the length of your board. These are 16 inches wide. And then the top and the bottoms, these ones are a little bit more trickier. I'm using the one that I already made to cut these tops, but when I first made those, I waited until the very end to get my measurements. But to give you an idea of a measurement, this would be the 16.25 inch lengthwise and about 11.75 inch widthwise. But like I said, I wouldn't take my measurements for my word. I would wait until you put all of your walls together before you get your measurements for your top. Okay, yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape and I'm gonna tape it down first. And you want it to get as close to the edge as possible, and this will also help with keeping it from being bent, and it'll kind of keep it in shape. So it's another reason why I'm taping it down first. And this is pretty much what I did when I made my Rubik's Cubes too. And I like to use the cut side in, that way you have a sharp edge on the outside. Okay, just make sure that they're lined up nicely. And then you can come in and you can hot glue these sides. And I'm gonna secure the edges.
And now all I'm going to do is add the contact paper to the sides of the panels, and then I need to finish assembling the speaker.
Bright lights in the city, every sound has got me moving to the beat. Oh. My head won't stop spinning, electric energy washes over me.
Okay, so this part's gonna get a little tricky, especially because like I had mentioned before, these panels are a little bent. So when you go to the Dollar Tree or wherever you buy your foam boards, try to get them so that they're not bent. And if they are, maybe I suggest laying them flat somewhere and put something kind of heavy on them so that they bend back to normal. This will make this process a lot easier. Otherwise, you are going to have a hard time getting the glue to stick, and it's going to dry bent, or it's just going to be a lot harder for you to glue these together. And so the front of the panel, I made sure to go in about maybe like a quarter to a third of an inch. You can go in as far as a half an inch if you want to, just so that the speaker part of it is not completely flush with the front panel. You want it to kind of go inwards a little bit to give it a little bit of dimension.
Very immediate. Because if you could, you would say work. RNA all by itself. Yep, RNA. Oh my god, I would throw up so bad. Herniation, which are those soft padded sacks that give cushioning.
Bright lights in the city, every sound has got me moving to the beat. Oh. My head won't stop spinning, electric energy washes over me. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like I mentioned in my last video, this camera is selective and it does what it wants. And while I was recording this process, it decided to stop recording out of nowhere. And this time I didn't even hear it shut off, so I have no idea what footage I got, because when I go to review it, I can't just fast forward through it. So I know I got 29 minutes of footage, but I don't know what all you missed. So I'm hoping that the footage that I provided is going to be good enough, but these are pretty simple. They're not hard to make. They look pretty cool, I think. And I could reuse these in the future as little stands, and I could put things on top of them. And I'm gonna do this as a demonstration. Now, I'm not saying put 20 pounds worth of weight on here, but here's 3 pounds. So it can hold 3 pounds of weight. And then here's 5 pounds. So it can handle 5 pounds of weight. I'm not willing to put anything heavier than that on there, even though I do think that it could handle the weight, but just, let's see, there's 8 pounds of weight. So just to go to show you that these are pretty durable, they should last you for a very long time, and you could just take the pieces off. You can go over them with more like poster board or whatever it is that you want to wrap them with. You can reuse these over and over and over and over again. And you could even flip them over and use the other side. So I'm telling you that these things will come in handy whenever you need some little stands to help decorate your area, whatever you're doing. Let's see, 4 poster boards at $1.25. The paper plates, I'm not going to count costs in that because they were leftovers. Scraps of paper, I'm not going to count any of that either. So, I mean, literally this probably cost me about $5, maybe $6 worth of supplies to make to make one speaker. So $10 for 2 speakers. It's not too bad. And this took about 4.5 hours of my time to do. So it's up to you whether you think that that is worth it or not, but I think that they look super cool, and they're going to look even better once they're all set up. So this is everything that I think I am going to need to make my disco sign. I'm hoping that it comes out the way that I envision it. I have 3 whiteboards here, but I don't know if I'll need them all. It's a possibility, but it might not be. I'm not sure yet. I also have these colors of ribbons that I found from the Dollar Tree. You could use any color that you want. They actually have sheets as well that you could use instead, but I chose the ribbon and I'm just going to glue them down. So I have some hot glue. I have a pencil and 2 X-Acto knives. I have some vinyl paper from the Dollar Tree in black, and then I printed out the disco letters. So I found a disco, it said disco on it, and then I just cut each individual letter and I sized them. So it's 8 inches tall, and I let the computer figure out the width of it. So this is how big the disco sign is going to be, roughly. So I'm hoping this is all I'm going to need, and let's see how well this turns out.
I want to apologize about the clarity. It does get better, but my camera had a fingerprint on it, but I do end up realizing it a little bit later, so the picture does get clearer very soon. But basically, this project is super simple and easy, and it did take longer than expected, so you do need to be patient and take breaks. After I cut out all of my letters, including the insides of each letter, I just traced them onto the foam board and used my X-Acto knife to cut them out. And then I made 3 sets of each letter.
Just a couple of other ideas that you could do to bedazzle your disco sign. I have these dazzling gems from Crafter's Closet. I got this from, I'm assuming this is Dollar Tree, because Crafter's Closet is Dollar General, that's right. They have them in various sizes from big to small, and if you have the patience, you could actually do them individually gem by gem, and I think that would really look really nice. And I'm tempted to actually try that, but I'm not sure if I have enough. Although I think this was only like $5. I can go back and try and find another one if I ran out. Also Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, they have these. You could also glue or Mod Podge or something like this, and you could use glitter. But I kind of feel like this would be very messy, but it is an option if you wanted to make it glittery. Or also you can buy those squares. They're like mirror squares for disco balls on Amazon. They're relatively cheap. I think it's like $7.99 for a sheet, and you could actually make them look like disco balls. But I am very tempted to try and use these gems, but I think I'm gonna go with these. I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys would have done. So I did only end up using 2 boards. Actually, I didn't even use the full second board. Those are my scraps over there. I probably only used a third of the second one, so you only need like a board and a third of it. And I cut them into 3 different layers, and they're not perfect by any means, but we are going to glue these together, and then I'm going to try and cover them with some vinyl paper.
Jody's mode of transportation would be black to the I borrowed John's car or I Ubered for now. But back to Jody. Before she left the college, she got a call from her.
I suppose that covering the letters in vinyl paper is completely optional, and maybe you could even skip this step by using black foam board instead, but finding black boards at my Dollar Tree is difficult because they sell out so quickly. But I do believe that making sure that your base layer is black is key to making your stones pop a little bit more. I feel like the white would just dull them down a bit. And if I were to recreate this project again, I would use a combination of the rolls and the diamond sheets, but that would only be possible if I could find the rolls and the sheets to match in the same exact color and there was enough of each of them. But I feel like the sheets would work so much better for the face of these letters because the sheets are self-adhesive, whereas the rolls, you have to glue them on yourself. But the rolls do work really good for the outer edges because they are perfect width of these letters, and you can cut them to the size of length that you need. But one little tip I can provide is that the rhinestones can be cut in half if you need to, so you don't need to cut around each rhinestone to make them fit on the letters. I know that I said that the rolls are the perfect width for these letters, but here I am overlapping them to the face of each letter. But personally, I like this. Not only does it give the letter a border, but it also secures the layer beneath and it hides any imperfections or gaps. But if you don't prefer the way that this looks, just cut out an extra letter and make sure that your letters are in cuts of 4 instead of 3, and the outer edge should fit perfectly to the sides. I didn't film the entire process of this project from start to finish because this video is already super long, but I did this to each and every letter in every other color, and then all I did was cover a piece of foam board in black vinyl paper and hot glued my disco letters to create a plaque so that we could easily hang the whole sign up on the wall in my hallway. But like I said, this is super easy and a perfect addition to all of the DIYs that I made. So let's recap all of what I did in this video today. I hope you enjoy.
I can feel it getting closer. That moment we've been waiting for. Wanna feel the magic when we touch. That I've never felt before. Oh, it's happening tonight. Underneath the neon lights, we can dance under the stars. Close your eyes and you can feel it. Hold me close, I know you need it. Baby, it's alright, it's alright. Trust the night and you believe it. Open up your heart and see it. Baby, it's alright, baby, it's alright. The day I said I loved you, the day I opened up my life, I can feel it.
Oh, you know what, guys? I am exhausted to say the least, and it's not even over yet. This was just the tip of the iceberg. This is just the DIYs, okay? Yesterday, I nearly broke my back sitting on this floor making that disco sign. But I have one more thing to share with you guys, and it's these really awesome pillows. Originally, I was going to go to a thrift store, and I was going to pick up some 70s style pillows already made, but as we were walking through Walmart, we saw this pattern, this material, and I was like, this is so 70s, and this pattern reminds me so much of the table covers that I bought for our party decor. So we decided to just go with this. I'm sure there's cheaper options. You could shop at Joann's, and in fact, they have up to 60% off coupons. A lot of times their fabric is actually on sale, so you can get some good fabric for a decent price. The inserts on the square pillows are from Walmart as well, but I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. Not sure if you can find inserts at Joann's or Michael's, but I know you can find polyfill, which is what was used for these little rectangular ones. In fact, I feel like the polyfill, they're a little bit more filled in than the inserts from Walmart.
The pillows that Crystal made are actually 14 inches, but when I went back to get this footage, they didn't have 14-inch pillow inserts available anymore. All they had was 16 and 18, but if you're able to find the 14 inches, they're just a tad bit cheaper than the 16 or 18 inches. They're really not much of a difference in price, but you can definitely find 16 and 18 inch pillows inserts here, and they're relatively cheap. In fact, when I did the price comparison between Joann's, Amazon, and Walmart, Walmart comes out the cheapest, so that's probably your best option.
I'm not sure how much they cost on Amazon. Usually they're a little bit more expensive, so I'll try to do a price comparison for you guys to see which option is cheaper. But either way, Walmart, Joann's, Michael's, it's all good options for you guys. We just went with Walmart because it was convenient and we really like this pattern. But we also picked up like this mustard color and this greenish color. And we picked up like this reddish brownish color, and we made sure that the pillows weren't like that sheet like material. It's more of like a pillowy material, more sturdy, more firm. I don't know how else to describe that, but and all she used is just a standard sewing machine to put this together. I'm sure there's many videos out there that can show you how to make these pillows. I probably would have showed how to do this if I would have done them myself, but she did this at home, so I can't do that, but I did want to share the idea with you. But I really hope that you guys took some inspiration or motivation from these DIYs and you try to recreate something of your own. I've had some really good comments on my 80s party video. That was a really good turnout, and I've motivated, inspired so many people. And so I really hope that this video does the same and I get the same feedback from it. So yeah, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys shortly in another video.